Hey everyone, it's Presley and Vidcon here, and today we're going to be doing a room vlog, which isn't actually in my room, but we're going to...
It is Saturday.
It is Saturday, which means it's a room vlog, and we're going to be talking about, is it okay to consume media created by problematic creators, partially?
Is this kind of a follow-up to last week?
Yeah, kind of, because last week we were talking about people being problematic, trademark TM,
Okay.
And,
Trademark and TM both mean the same.
I know, that's why I said it twice.
Are you trademarking the word trademark?
It's the problematic trademarked TM. It says trademarked. It says trademarked in
parentheses.
Yeah, and then it says TM. Okay. Right. Anyway, discussing English language. This time we're going to discuss internet language now.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about. So last week we talked about people being.
So if someone is problematic,
can you enjoy work that they took part in?
Yeah.
Partaked in.
Partook.
Really?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. No one would ever say such a thing.
Partaked in.
Yeah. A project they worked on.
Yes. And that is a really good question.
What's the answer?
I don't really know. It depends on...
what are the factors? That's a good fact.
Yes. I think it depends on how much the problematic person is getting out of it. If they're...
Oh, I totally wasn't going that direction. That's
really?
Interesting, Presley. Yeah.
I was thinking...
No, as always, that's a good angle. How much are you supporting that person personally? Okay.
If there's something that they were kind of involved in, but they got, they got cut from the project or something, because they're problematic, they did something bad, they're no longer being supported by the project.
Yep.
I think, that's cool, because you're not supporting them, and, if it's not their project, if they just happen to...
Yeah, I was thinking more about it on that, so, how involved in the project were they? And I mean, I suppose there's a correlation between how much they are compensated for it and how involved they were in it. But I was definitely coming at it from the angle of how important were they in the creation of the work versus how much are they personally getting out of it. That's a good angle.
I don't think it would be...
But how do you know that?
I don't know. I have no idea. People on Tumblr just seem to know that, so I
think you make a lot of assumptions. You probably know more about my thing, and you assume that means a lot about your thing.
Yeah.
Is probably what if you created it and you're the owner of it, then one would assume you get a lot of compensation out of it. But you probably don't know directly what they're compensated.
But if someone goes out and says, we are removing this person from the project, they'll no longer be compensated for it, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question, though, about, if someone, let's just do LGBT thing, right? As an example.
Okay.
Someone makes, in a heartbeat, a really, powerful, beautiful story about that, and it does, really wonderful things in the community, and then you find out that person that created it is problematic in some way, right? Does that make this piece of work that they did problematic, or is it out there living its own life, having its own value and providing its own thing? That's still a thing that is touching a lot of people's hearts and is an important thing for people. You always move back to a lot of other cases you just don't know. The creator's problematic, you just don't know yet how they're problematic or in what way. You haven't found out. Their skeletons haven't come out of the closet yet, right? And so if you stay away from all content produced by someone you disagree with,
that is really a thing I do really want to talk about. Something similar to probably, I mean, there's going to be a whole other video about this at some point, but the problem with modern culture and their obsession with consuming only the purest content that was made by exclusively people who align perfectly with their views, and there's nothing even a little bit problematic in anything.
Echo chamber too, right?
Yeah, because that's not gonna happen. Realistically, there's never gonna be a perfect media out there that was worked on by no problematic people, and there's no things that are kind of problematic in it. This just kind of ties back to Voltron, where in my personal opinion, a lot of people at DreamWorks...
the Blue Lion's problematic, but they still come together and form Voltron.
No, I'm talking about the show itself and the people that work on the show. A lot of people that work at DreamWorks don't deserve Voltron, okay?
That yellow lion's a racist.
No! Don't do hunks like this! Don't do hunks like this, okay? He's my boy and he's done nothing wrong.
Okay, alright.
Anyway.
Not the hunk.
Yeah.
Not Hunk the lion.
The lion, it sounds...
Alright, go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But anyways, I think, a lot of the people, at least the people that work on Lance and Hunk specifically, don't deserve them. They are such complex characters and they have so much, and there's so much about them that can be explored, but a lot of people that work on Voltron reduce Hunk to food, because he's fat. They just make him about food, and that's it.
Yep.
And they make Lance the stereotypical, I am in love with every female ever. That's it. That's his whole personality in a lot of the promotional material, and in season 2, 3, and in a lot of the newer seasons, which bugs me so much. So it's partially if someone problematic created something in a heartbeat, then that work itself is something you can enjoy as long as you are aware of the fact that they are problematic,
right?
And they don't deserve that work. It's its own thing now. It's independent, and as long as you are not turning your blind side to something that didn't sound right. Whatever.
That's fine.
As long as
a
you're
blind
not,
eye.
you're not turning a blind eye towards the fact that the person that made something
you're aware.
Is problematic. As long as you're aware of it and you're not trying to make excuses for them just because they made something cool.
How much do you think time and place plays a role in those kinds of determinations though? If you look at really classical works that were written a long time ago when the world was a very different place and someone's behavior may have been much more commonplace at the time, but is viewed as a lot more problematic now, or they're creating work in a country with a very different set of values and morals than we have, and so they fit perfectly within the culture in which they live, but we're consuming the media in our culture and we disagree with some of their cultural views. How much do you take that into account as part of your equation?
I don't think any of that would excuse the fact that it's still a bad thing. Even if it is more commonplace, that doesn't necessarily mean it's okay. So I do think that you have to be aware of that, and you have to understand that it's from another culture or from another time period, and that's why it's happening.
Right.
But you can't excuse it just because of that. You can't be but it's okay.
So that cue is again another video we should probably do at some point. The line between cultural insensitivity and calling out another culture for being wrong, even though it's their culture.
Yeah.
You're sort of, in some ways you're saying, all culture should be like my culture. All values should be my value. So if your values are different than mine, you should change your culture to align better with my values. And clearly you don't want to say that, right? Yeah. But there has to be some line that you draw where certain things are gone too far.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line between differences that are acceptable differences and differences that are dangerous differences? When they put someone else's
life at risk.
Sure. Yeah.
When...
different conversation.
Yes.
But it kind of ties in. We're saying that there's a line somewhere. There's levels of problematicness.
Yeah.
In almost everyone, and every piece of content that's created by a ton of people, there are going to be people involved who have problematic opinions in your view. And it's going to be problematic to one person and not problematic to another. We also sort of talk about problematic like that's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily. Some people have different boundaries and different things that they view as unacceptable, right? But then there's some threshold that, once it gets above this threshold, it's not okay anymore for the piece of content. And I think, for me, I think that's just a very personal experience. Mm-hmm. And for me, I talked about this with one of the guys at work the other day. It's when I watch or consume a piece of content or watch a video or watch a movie or something, if while I'm watching that movie, I'm thinking about what the person did that made the movie, it's crossed the line. I'm no longer able to just enjoy the movie and watch the movie for what it is. When it gets to the point where when I hear, with its directors, if I hear the director's name, a lot of time I think about it. But sometimes if I'm just sitting and watching the movie and trying to enjoy the movie, and I'm pulled out of the movie and thinking about the things that this person is accused of doing, or has done, then it becomes sort of too much. It crosses the line for me. Yeah. But that's everybody makes a very different decision. And so I'm not sort of pulling back and saying, hey, every time I watch this movie, I really love it and I think it's awesome and I think it's a powerful film or I think it's just super entertaining, but I'm going to make a conscious decision to not watch it anymore because I know this about the person that made it. Mm-hmm. I never actually do that.
Yeah.
I do more if it bugs me enough that I don't enjoy it in the same way, I stop watching it. But I don't think I do a conscious decision to avoid something I enjoy because of the person involved in it.
Yeah, I've done that before, and I feel like that's another generational thing, kind of, where like I, unfortunately, have been raised in a very, like, not by my family, but by the internet, in a very
Presley has been raised by the internet.
Yeah.
That's a very accurate statement.
Yeah, in a very
A truer statement has never been made on this channel.
yeah.
And Presley, not by my parents, but by the internet.
No, I was not. I was trying to differ between not the fact that you raised me with the toxic call-out culture, but the internet did that.
Oh yeah, sure.
The internet right now, in its current state, is in a very unhealthy call-out culture that is obsessed with purity, and I've been dealing with that for like a really long time.
You went through that phase.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of in it, and I'm aware of that fact. To the point where like I have, if something bad enough comes up with something I really love, then what I usually choose to do is be like, okay, so I'm gonna take it, and it's just, you're gone, you're out of the equation now. If someone did something really bad that I feel like I should boycott something for, then I don't watch it again, but I basically I'm like, these are mine now. This is mine.
Yeah.
It is.
I wonder
I'm saving my voice.
You know, like there's the poetry of the troubled artist, right? And like someone with a troubled past and with demons that they're fighting with, being part of the creative process of them creating some like a beautiful piece of work because of the demons that they're battling.
Yeah.
And so that person, like by their very nature, is problematic because they're doing battle with these demons and they've done these horrible things and they feel remorseful for them and they're struggling with this thing that they're going through. And out of that, they're creating this piece of art that's kind of an amazing piece of art, but that person's clearly problematic. How does that change?
Well, like that depends if the person is like feels bad about it.
So it's the remorseful nature of.
If they feel bad about it and if they've apologized, then they're like, people change, and that is a fact that the internet right now has a really hard time accepting. But they change, people get better.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of it kind of comes and goes. If you look at people, they have a pattern where they sort of get the upper hand on their demons for a little while, and then they slip back again, and then they come in. Like it's a cycle. It's not like I've walked away from these demons and I'm never going to have this problem again.
Right.
Like there are a lot of people out there who have gone through these phases. Who some of them have come out much stronger, or seemingly much stronger than the other side. Like Robert Downey Jr. I think it's someone who immediately jumps to mind because he went through some pretty nutty stuff. Like he woke up in somebody's house once, was the big story I kind of remember. But he went through like a real drug phase and was doing some terrible things. And now he seemed to have really turned his life around and become someone who you can admire. But he certainly was a problematic figure at one point, not so long ago, right? And then other people who still get better, and then sort of fall off the wagon a little bit, and then fight again and get better. But they're able to create some amazing art out of that struggle. Like I think that's an interesting thing to take into account too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes your problematic nature is the fuel that drives your creative force. And I hate to go too far down that path. Whenever I think about that, I think about John Green talking about like the romanticism of mental illness.
Oh, man.
Right, and that people are like, oh, hey, I need to stop taking my meds so that I can create this work, and how dangerous a thought that is. And so that it seems analogous to me to say, oh, you're an alcoholic womanizer, and that's how you create this amazing work. So you should probably keep doing that so you can create this amazing work. You don't want to sort of draw too many parallels between those things. But people with troubled backgrounds, I think, oftentimes have this deep well of things that they can pull from to create art. And if you exclude people with problematic pasts from the media that you're going to consume, you're invalidating a lot of people exploring these dark areas through art. And that's a dangerous thing to do too.
Yeah.
I don't know where that makes me land on this issue.
This is a weird thing to talk about.
But it's a deep thing to kind of dive into a little bit. Like for me, it's just a very personal thing. If I'm watching it and I'm thinking, oh man, I really hate this guy. Like I'll say I can't watch like Mel Gibson. And there are some Mel Gibson stuff that I really like. Like I enjoyed some of the work that he's done, right? But when I watch Mel Gibson, I think about like the stuff that he said to the cops in that one time when he got arrested. And some of his other things that he said, like beyond that, but like that incident and some sort of anti-Semitic thing and Holocaust denial and stuff like that, that I'm just like, when I see him on screen, I start thinking about those things, and it distracts me from the performance and from the movie, and so I don't watch his stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's a tangible example of somebody who I've walked away from. But it's because it bothers me. It's not that, I really want to sit down and watch Lethal Weapon. But I'm not gonna watch it because I don't like Mel Gibson. It's not really that.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so there you go.
I would have an example, but I actually can't think of one right now. I know I have 100%, I've done it before, I don't remember with what. Like I have
Like walked away.
boycotted things.
Yeah.
Yes, I have, like, I guess boycotted things. I have just like, bye.
Mhm.
Done. And like, actually, the only example I can think of it is boycotting something because of a fandom and not because of a show.
Oh, I do that all the time. Deadpool.
Yeah. Listen, yeah, I know. I'm still really upset about like your
Totally
Deadpool
Deadpool
thing.
for me, yeah. Or the Cowboys. Yeah.
Generally?
No, not Cowboys and Indians, the Dallas Cowboys, the football team.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was just like generally.
Yeah, I don't
Cowboys.
mind the team, I don't like the fans. I lived in Texas though, so that's... yeah, so your last question, because we got to wrap this up a little bit, because we got to get you somewhere.
Yeah.
The, if you decide to boycott something because you find it problematic, and one of your friends is still a fan of that thing, do you think less of them?
This is a good thing. I don't, because I have friends who are not, well, like I have friends, I'm not going to name drop them obviously, but I am very much an anti, which it means I am anti shipping Shira with a paladin or shipping Lotor with a paladin or any of that. And I have friends who are like chill with it, and I'm like, okay, I'm still your friend and I love you and support you and everything, but like we just don't talk about Shaladin shit.
I thought you meant like an auntie, like in Hawaii, like aunties and uncles. Like you're everyone's auntie. Yeah. You're the mom.
No, I am not. No, absolutely not. But yeah, I am very much.
So you're more opposed to stuff than you are for stuff? Is that what that means?
I am.
Your standard.
No, that's not what it means.
Personality is that you're
anti
anti stuff.
Anti means you are like against certain ships in a fandom or in any fandom. Yeah. I will explain this to you further.
Yeah, you and I can
at
talk
a different time.
Yeah, we'll talk in the car.
Because it's a very interesting concept, and I am an anti, but that doesn't mean like I hate Shaladins or any of that kind
you
of
hate people who, you don't hate people who do that. It's just not
like,
your thing.
It's just, it just makes me feel bad, and I don't like it, so I distance myself. I don't follow Shaladin.
Yeah, certain people are triggered by certain things, and you're not, and you respect everyone's boundaries. Yeah.
I respect people's boundaries.
Right.
Anyway.
So let us know, like, who you think is problematic. Like, are there people that you think that you should not watch their stuff? And like generationally, like, I mean, Dawn and I will talk about like Woody Allen or sort of somebody, Roman Polanski, like people in that ilk who are in our sort of world. So I'm curious, like, what you guys think. Are there people that you enjoy their work but you won't consume it because you feel like they're problematic?
I thought of a person. JonTron.
Okay.
JonTron.
Well, you were talking about Steven Universe a minute ago, right?
Steven Universe, yes. I boycotted because the fandom, like, is such a nasty place. And I still watch Steven Universe sometimes. Just in my opinion, it's not as good as it was. Yes, and Lauren Zook is a bad person. I don't like Lauren Zook, and I didn't watch a lot of the episodes she worked on because I just didn't want to watch them.
Okay, so I'm sorry, we're gonna do one second. When you watched those, did you think about that, or did you not think about it, like what I was saying? Were you not thinking about it, you just decided you didn't want to watch them because you knew she was involved?
Yeah, I just decided I was just like, okay, this is a Lauren Zook episode. I don't like Lauren Zook as a person, and I don't like a lot of her episodes, so I'm not gonna watch this one because like a lot of Steven Universe now is filler. Like, so I'm not watching it anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Alright, so let us know what you guys think in the comments below, and we're gonna get out of here because we have to go.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to let us know in the comments below what you think about this opinion. What do you think about this opinion? Sure.
Sure.
What your opinions are, or what you think about this thing, which I try to say at the same time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.